viewers, welcome back. Now, focus is back on the ground reports. NewsX senior executive editor Megha Sharma has also held an exclusive interview with Raghu, the Bengaluru director of the Vyasa Canada. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Megha Sharma. We are in Canmore in Alberta in Canada, and joining me today for a conversation is a prominent Indo-Canadian, and his name is Raghu Bengaluru. He is the director of the Vyasa Canada. Raghu, thank you very much for speaking with NewsX, and if you could tell me more about your experience being a Canadian citizen now.
First of all, Megha, welcome to Canada. I hope Canada has been treating you well. Welcome to you and your team. And being Indo-Canadian is a wonderful aspect. Being a Canadian, you get to enjoy best of both worlds, and the beauty of the Canadian, the Rockies that you get to enjoy. Niagara is another aspect which is beautiful here in Canada. Of course, there is the ease of living, the ease of doing business. The quality of life is excellent. And as an Indo-Canadian, I must feel very proud of the fact that Indians have been a highly productive community here in Canada, and Indians have been contributing very successfully to the Canadian economy, and amongst the highest educated in Canada, least crime rate, and also the most productive. So I could go on, but the experience of being here in Canada has been a truly wonderful one.
Absolutely. Of course, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was at the G7 Leaders Summit in Kananaskis just a short while ago. He is heading to Croatia. What has been the sentiment of the Indian community over here?
Now, this has been a moment that the Indian community has been endlessly waiting for. As everyone is aware, the last couple of years, there was some turbulence between the two nations. And as Indo-Canadians, we are the community that gets affected severely because, India is our motherland, Canada is our karma bhumi, which has given us a great life. It has given us education to our kids, and the families are settled here. We love both countries equally, but when there is disagreements between elders in the family, it's the kids that suffer, and the same sentiment was prevalent amongst the Indo-Canadian community, and we are truly extremely grateful to the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji for being so large-hearted despite of the turbulence and the bad blood between the two countries, which was extremely unfortunate. He was kind enough to put all that behind and not have any animosity and take this huge step towards restoring the relationships. And equally to our Right Honorable Mark Carney, the Honorable Canadian Prime Minister, to leave behind the past, to put it behind him and restart, re-energize this wonderful relationship. Canada, if you look at the land size, it's the second largest country in the world, and it's one of the largest democracies. And India, of course, is the largest democracy by population size. So there is a natural synergy, and we couldn't wait for this moment, and we are happy that it's finally happening.
There have been quite a few irritants. Particularly, there were a number of these protests that were happening in Calgary and Ottawa and even in Banff. These Khalistanis coming out and chanting anti-Modi slogans, anti-India slogans. Do you think the average Indian who's living in Canada and even the average Canadian is really bothered about all that is happening? And are you also a bit frustrated that why are such anti-India sentiments being spread?
Yes, of course, everyone is bothered about it. Nobody likes, all the protests that happen all around the year these days. But I think if you look at it, the large community at large, is definitely not for this kind of a protest-based mentality. The way to solve anything and everything is to have a dialogue. So if you look at, if you talk to any community leader across communities, everyone wants to have a dialogue, and we really don't know who the vested interests are and, who is actually driving this. But I can assure you that the average Indian, the average Indo-Canadian and the average Canadian really do not wish this. They do not enjoy this, and they want to see the end of this. And, finally, the countries have to move forward, and this is an aspect that needs to be definitely dealt with.
I want to talk to you about the very strong Indo-Canadian community and the businesses that the Indians have started over here and the services that the Indian community also provides, which is to a large extent ensuring that the $20 billion trade continues and perhaps potentially even grows. And these specific areas, particularly Alberta and you see Ottawa, Toronto, have a large percentage of Indians. How do the Indians assimilate themselves with the Canadian culture?
So, like you can already see, Canada is such a large country, but has a population of close to 41 million now. It was 39 million a year ago, and in the last year or so, we added another million, and the last few months or close to a year, we added another million. So it's about 4 crore plus for Indian audiences to understand. And you have that many people in some of the smallest states of India, and probably the Delhi NCR region has that many. So there is unlimited opportunity here in Canada. Canada needs human resources, and that is why there has been a wave of immigration in Canada, which also most of the Canadians don't agree with, rightfully. Immigration should be based on merit, and we welcome that kind of immigration because, once again, most of the Indians who are here have all come through the legal route, and and that kind of immigration should be encouraged. And like you said, Alberta, we are right here in the midst of probably one of the global reserves of energy. India is one of the largest consumers of energy, and Modi ji had very aptly summarized during his last visit that India has the demand and Canada has the supply. So it's a natural synergy. There is unlimited opportunity. I live in Toronto, which is like a tech hub, and Ottawa has a lot of opportunities. Indians have been creating Silicon Valleys in US, and that is why we need quality resources to be able to contribute to both countries. Indians who are here have been contributing very well to Canada, and they're also doing service projects back home, and having a lot of Indian community will only strengthen the bilateral relations.
Absolutely. Talking about your initiative, you could tell us more about Vyasa. What is it?
So I belong to an institution that is making efforts to propagate the authentic yoga aspects. We are in the week of Yoga Day, so there couldn't be an opportune moment to speak about this aspect. Our honorable founder of the S. Vyasa University back in Bangalore, revered Guruji Dr. Nagendra ji, he is a rocket scientist. The analogy is he's fondly referred to as NASA to Vyasa because he was researching in NASA. Then he came back to India and started S. Vyasa, the Swami Vivekananda Yoga Anusandhan Samsthan, which is one of the most respected universities. We are a UGC Category 1 NAC A+ accredited university, and we have the highest research by any university or any institution in the entire globe. And that is the scientific rigor that our founder, Chancellor Dr. Nagendra ji has been driving, throughout from the time he's founded the university. And our Arogya Dama, we don't call it a hospital, which has been founded by his sister, and we fondly call as Dr. Nagaratna Didi. She is like the mother of the campus and the soul of the campus, who has, infused the Vedic Bharatiya values. The philosophy that we have is anybody who comes for any kind of ailments or treatments, we don't want them to come back again. That is what we are very clearly taught by the medical director, who is Dr. Nagaratna, because that is what Indian Eastern wisdom has to offer. And nobody is called a patient there. Everyone is a participant who participates in his or her own health. So that's the paradigm shift. That's the mindset shift that we are trying to bring here to Canada. And there has been very encouraging response. And we must thank the Honorable Prime Minister, who has been the biggest brand ambassador for yoga, because until 2015, when we had the first Yoga Day, yoga has been there for thousands of years. But Honorable Modi ji has got yoga to each and every nook and corner of the world. There is nobody in the world today who would say, I don't know yoga. So that is the power of the machinery of the government. I have personally seen the Ministry of Ayush and the Ministry of External Affairs take a lot of pain and effort to make sure that our Indic systems of knowledge reach each and every part of the world, and we're very, very grateful for that.
All the very best for this very noble initiative and letting the world know about what India really stands for and what it has to offer to the world and to Canada. Thank you so much, Raghu Bengaluru, for joining us and speaking to us.
Thank you very much, and thanks for taking this message across to the audiences, and I really appreciate. Thanks for coming over to Canada, and I wish you a great stay and a successful visit.
Thank you.